right here is going to be the head. So on all these structures right here, these are on this anterior view, it's going to be the and back here, it's going to be the lesser trochanter. It's going to be your neck. This right here. On this side, this is the lateral side. This is the medial side. This structure here. Kind of this here. The other side of it is going to be the medial condyle. And if you look right above these condyles, is going to be the epicondyles because epi means above. So it's going to be, and then if you look here on this side, epicondyle. So medial epicondyle, right across from it, lateral epicondyle. Below the medial condyle, the medial epicondyle is your medial condyle. And then on the other side of your medial condyle is your lateral condyle. So this right here, this kind of just surface right here. Just this like kind of surface right here. So your epicondyle is right here, located right here. Your adductor tubercle is going to be right here, about this kind of top center right here. So patellar surface is the surface right here. Medial epicondyle is located medial side above the medial condyle. Lateral side, epicondyle located above the lateral condyle. And then your adductor tubercle is above the medial epicondyle, this kind of point right here. It's really not a lot on the femur. And this is your anterior view. This would be the lateral view of the femur. So like I said, this is your head up here. This would be your greater trochanter. This is your lesser trochanter. Lesser trochanter, greater trochanter, they're kind of opposite sides. If we look on the anterior view, then we see that lesser trochanter, greater trochanter, lesser, greater, opposite sides. This is a lateral view. The neck of the femur would kind of be this line right here. And then we move down here. We've just gone through this because it's just the lateral side. This is the medial side that this is facing. Then this is going to be your medial epicondyle, your medial condyle. Then your lateral side would be kind of over here, but I'm not really going to mark that. You just know that this is lateral that you're looking at it from. So, and you're seeing the medial epicondyle, you're seeing the medial condyle. So you need to know the lateral is obviously on the other side. Now the adductor tubercle is also going to be on the side, and it's going to kind of be this kind of one right here. The medial epicondyle should be, a little lower right here, but the adductor tubercle, excuse my handwriting, but that is adductor tubercle. Adductor tubercle. This will be located right here, like around here. For this posterior view of it, this is the medial side, this is the lateral side. This is your head. This is your greater trochanter. Greater trochanter. On the other side, your lesser trochanter. Lesser trochanter, greater trochanter. Your head and your neck would be on these lines right here. Neck, your neck. Okay, so this right here is going to be your gluteal tuberosity. Gluteal tuberosity, just kind of along these lines right here. This is not one that I need to know, but I'm still gonna do it. This right here is called your linea aspera. Down here to the bottom of the femur, we got everything going on. We got our, right here, this is your intercondylar fossa. This kind of cool. This right here is your medial condyle. This right here is your lateral condyle. This up here is your lateral epicondyle. This right here is your medial epicondyle. Medial epicondyle, lateral condyle, medial condyle, intercondylar fossa. And then right above your medial epicondyle is your adductor tubercle. As we saw right here, your adductor tubercle, right above the medial epicondyle. Right above the medial epicondyle is your adductor tubercle, and then on this posterior view, your adductor tubercle is located above the medial epicondyle. So on the posterior view of this femur, these lines right here are the medial and lateral supracondylar lines. So these ones right here are the medial and lateral supracondylar lines. And that's it for the femur. Next, we're going to do this pelvic pelvic girdle. So, structures up here. This arch is the pubic arch. This kind of joint together right here is the pubic symphysis. This is the iliac crest, because this is the ilium. Iliac crest, ilium, it just makes sense, it goes. This is the ilium, but on this picture we can't really see the indentions or the fossas, but there is an ilium or iliac fossa. The sacroiliac joint, think about it, a joint is where we need things to connect. We need bones to connect to each other. We need connection, articulation. So we're gonna get that right here on kind of these middle lines and both these. Those are your sacroiliac joints. So if we look on these lateral sides, we can see these holes, and there's two of them. So these kind of holes right here, they're not foramens because they're not actual holes, acetabellum. And there's another one over here, this side. Okay, so if we look right here, again on this image, it's not very noticeable, but if we look right here, we have these kind of indentions right here, and these are going to be our pubic crest and jewels. Your pelvic brim, that's gonna kind of be in here, on these edges right here. So this is like the whole coxibum, and the coccyx sits right here. This whole joint right here, this whole thing is the sacrum. Okay, last thing on our pelvic girdle are these foramens, actual foramens, and these are our make sure I spell it right. Obturator for a. So obturator foramen right here. Tips of the pelvic girdle or the coccyx bone. So if we go through and we review it, these are iliums. You have two iliums on each side. This right here is your iliac crest as well as right here, iliac crest. Right over here. Yeah. Crest. Oh, fossa, sorry, fossa. iliac fossa. Oh, is it crest? Wait, that's kind of out here. Yeah, anyway, so yeah, iliac fossa. Iliac fossa, iliac fossa. Iliac crest is on the outside of your ilium. Your sacrum is located right here, kind of medial to your ilium. Your coccyx is going to be under your sacrum, more distal to the pubic bone, but not in this picture, but not really in a sense. Your pubic arch is going to be this arch right here by the pubic bone, pubic symphysis. Think of joining together, so it's going to be right here, where this side of your pubic bone and this side of your pubic bone, kind of join together. Your acetabellum has going to be these kind of deep depressions on the side. Your arbitrary foramen is going to be holes, actual holes in the pelvic girdle on both sides. Foramen means hole. Your sacroiliac joint is going to be up here, where these two bones kind of meet up with the sacrum and the vertebral column. So, right here. Your pubic bone is going to be right here. This kind of hole, this kind of area right here. Your pelvic rim is going to be right here on the inside, where your pubic bone is, kind of on the inside of that. Your pubic crest and tubercles are going to be these kind of projections right here. Like I said, it's hard to see on this model, but yeah, I think that's it. I think the ischiums are right here on both lateral sides of the pelvic girdle or grill. Okay, so we're going to kind of look at the pelvic girdle from a different POV. And this whole thing is, like we said before, this deep depression that's not an actual hole, like the arbitrator foramen, is going to be your acetabellum. This actual foramen, this actual hole, is going to be your arbitrator foramen. Obturator. So this kind of projection or kind of crest right here is going to be your pubic crest. And then, speaking of crest, the iliac, or the ilium, this crest right here is going to be iliac crest. And so this is going to be the ischium. I'm getting into the ischium. This right here is kind of whole. This is going to be the ischial ramus. Just like you have the ramus of the mandible down here, this is going to be your ischial tuberosity. Again, you can see that more better on a human bone rather than this image. And that kind of goes like up here. This is your lesser sciatic notch. This right here is this whole notch right here is your greater sciatic notch. This is your ischial spine. Okay. This right here again, it would be like a little, like that. This is your posterior inferior iliac spine. So this one is your posterior inferior iliac spine. This up here would be your posterior, because keep in mind, we're looking at this from a lateral view. This is the anterior part. This is the posterior part. Posterior, superior, because it's above this inferior one. Iliac spine. This line right here, it's very faint, and I know the shadow is kind of not making any better, but this line that kind of goes right here, this is the posterior gluteal line. Posterior because in the back, gluteal because this is kind of where your gluteus is, in line. And then right here, kind of be going up like this. This is your interior gluteal line. Just like we have on the posterior side, it's going to be anterior, superior iliac spine. Here, anterior, superior iliac spine. Anterior, superior iliac spine. And then this notch right here is the anterior. Can you guess? Inferior iliac spine. Anterior, superior, anterior, inferior. Then we have this line comes right here. This is going to be your inferior gluteal line. This right here, this kind of line coming right here, it's going to this is your inferior gluteal line. This is the acetabellum. Right here, this kind of like right here. This is the superior ramus of the pubis. Ischial ramus, because the ischium's back here, the pubis is more anterior. So superior ramus. And then we have down here, this kind of section right here. This is the inferior ramus of the, so inferior ramus of the pubis, superior ramus of the pubis up here. And I think that's it for the lateral view of the pelvic girdle. Yeah, a quick run through. You have the iliac crest up here, the posterior gluteal line is coming down right here, the anterior gluteal line is coming anteriorly. The anterior inferior iliac spine is right here, the anterior portion. Posterior superior iliac spine is posterior in the greater or superior portion. Posterior inferior and posterior inferior iliac spine is down here, more inferior obviously. The inferior gluteal line is down here. The cerebellum, yeah, the cerebellum is this big depression. The anterior foramen is foramen, only foramen in the pelvic girdle. The inferior or the superior ramus subterraneus is here, and the inferior ramus subterraneus down here. The ischium is on its border. The ischial ramus is this. The lesser sciatic notch is this notch that's in the lesser part, the more inferior part, and the greater sciatic notch is this notch up here, that's in the superior part. The ischial spine is going to be in the middle of the lesser sciatic notch and the greater sciatic notch. Ischial tuberosity is going to be over here, it's going to have, also kind of texture to it. And I think that's it for these. Let me switch. Okay, we have this skeleton with the lower limbs, and it has the carpals on there and the pelvic girdle, but just gonna kind of worry about the lower limbs part. This is the femur. This down here, this pair of bones in the inside, the more medial side is the tibia, the thicker bone. On the outer end, or the more lateral end, is the fibula. Again, more medial side, tibia, more lateral side, fibula. We're gonna take a better look at him, but just from like right here, you can see the patella. There's this kind of, we can see down here, these two. So if we go into the femur, then we see on this end, we can see the lesser trochanter. On this side, we also see the lesser trochanter. I guess this whole thing, this would be the greater trochanter. This is the neck. And yeah, that's what I'm gonna show this picture. I don't like it, to be honest. So, what is this? We just literally went over the femur just a second ago, so we're just gonna breeze through this one. This is the head. This is the neck. This is the posterior trochanter. The greater trochanter. This is trochanter. Greater trochanter. Posterior neck. You have pocket and this is your medial, epicondyle, and then your lateral, epicondyles. Right, so right here, this is your lateral condyle. This is your medial condyle. This up here is your appendicular pedicule, just on it. Appendicular is called right here. This surface here is your patellar surface. This is your, let's switch it up. These are your phalanges. These are your metacarpals. These are your carpals. Oh no, actually I lied. Okay, it's actually tarsal. Okay, let's see tarsals, guys, tarsals. So phalanges, metatarsals, tarsals, and then this is going to be your ramus. This is your ramus, and this is going to be your calcaneus. But just remember. This on the outer end is going to be the distal phalange. This middle one is the medial phalange, and this one right here is the proximal phalange. So just think of it, proximal is close to detachment, distal farther from detachment. But the big toe only has 1 and 2. So it only has the distal, then proximal. The ramus, this big new structure, and the calcaneus is the back. This is the heel. Okay, so this is the femur, tibia and fibula. Tibia is this one. The thicker one is the tibia, and the thinner one is the fibula. And another thing you can do is fibula is lateral, and the tibia is medial. These down here, like I said, are the tarsals. These right here are going to be the phalanges. These are the metatarsals, and then these are the tarsals. The calcaneus would be just behind there. These two processes down here, it's not styloid process. That's for the ulnar radius. So since these two are together, it's called the malleolus. So since this one is more medial, it's going to be called the medial malleolus. So this is the medial malleolus, this right here. And then on this end, this is the more lateral side. So this one is the lateral malleolus. Right here, this kind of right here, this is tibial because it's on the tibia. Tuberosity. This is the lateral condyle, medial condyle. This is obviously the patella. And this up here is the femur. So the patellar surface, if the patella wasn't here, the patellar surface would be right back here. If the patella wasn't here, the patella surface would be behind here. The patella is on the patella surface. We have down here lateral condyle, medial condyle down here. Up here, medial epicondyle. This one is the lateral epicondyle. Medial condyle, medial epicondyle, lateral condyle, lateral epicondyle. You can see right here on this tip, this is your adductor tubercle. That's it. So if we look at here, so these white kind of thickens right here, these are nothing. These are actual structures. This one here is the medial meniscus. This one is the lateral meniscus. We have tibial collateral ligament. So this is your kind of ligaments on the side. And these are ligaments. This one on the side is called the tibial medial collateral ligament. And it's called a ligament because it's holding the bone to bone. On the other side, okay, so basically we have like kind of like one going up here, and this one that's kind of just sticking out is your biceps femoris tendon, and then this one that kind of comes up here and attaches to the bone, that's your other collateral ligament, which is going to be your fibular lateral collateral ligament. So fibular, because remember it's attached to the fibula, which is on the outside, the lateral side. Since the fibula is lateral, then it's going to be fibular lateral collateral ligament, because again it's attaching the bone up here to the bone down here through this little ligament right here. Just want to make it very clear that this is for the biceps femoris, and it actually kind of sticks out, but this image doesn't really show that quite. So if you look right here, you see the biceps femoris tendon, because it's actually connecting the muscle to bone. So yeah, but biceps femoris tendon, and then this one right here, which is connecting the bone to bone, that's the ligament. This, like I said, is your tibia. This is your fibula. So I'm gonna kind of draw some of these ligaments that's not being kind of shown right here. And it's gonna kind of be, it's gonna be behind the patella, but I'm gonna draw them kind of down here just so we can see. So there's a transverse ligament, and it's going across. This is your medial condyle. This is your lateral condyle, medial condyle. They kind of arch up like this and form that patellar bone. So it looks like this. If the patellar bone wasn't here, it would look like this, with this notch right here. And this transverse ligament going across. And then we got your anterior cruciate ligament. This anterior cruciate ligament is also called your ACL. So if you heard of the ACL, that's what it is. It's one anterior cruciate ligament. I'm gonna put kind of here. So I'm gonna put anterior cruciate, anterior cruciate ligament. It's just this one coming up. Two of them in the back. It's kind of like two in the back. That was number one fasciculus, and that is your posterior. Because behind the knee, cruciate ligament. And then if you kind of look right here, this right here is going to be your patellar. Right, and that is pretty much it. The anterior cruciate ligament is in the front. Posterior cruciate ligament is in the back. Medial condyle is on the side. Lateral condyle is on this side. It's right here. Medial, lateral, medial, lateral. The fibular is the fibula, lateral, because it's on the lateral side. Collateral ligament is on the side. And then the tibial, medial, because it's medial. Collateral ligament is on the side. The medial meniscus are going to be right here. The lateral meniscus is going to be right here. The biceps femoris tendon is the one that's kind of sticking out, connecting muscle to bone. The fibula is this bone right here. The tibia is this thicker bone. The patellar ligament is this ligament right here. That's going to be connecting for the patella. The transverse ligament is the ligament going across, and that's it. So anterior and posterior view. Anterior view, well, anterior view. The posterior view, you can see the medial meniscus and the lateral meniscus here, and that's the posterior cruciate ligament coming back here. This is anterior cruciate ligament. The tibial lateral ligament is on the side, and the fibular lateral ligament is on the side. And it's the end of the process. So, the muscle cutting bone.